The Christmas season is upon us, a season in which there is much thought and concern put into the concept of gifts giving. Many children and some adults focus upon and look forward with great anticipation of what gifts they may get during this season. Many adults run from store to store with the intention of getting the right gifts for all that are on their list. Too often in the hustle and bustle of the season, we forget the most important gift of all, Jesus Christ, the reason for the season. The Bible tells us that Jesus came to save us and lived a sinless and perfect life, and died a cruel death so we won't have to die. He did it for us, and to God we are very grateful. This is an exciting time for the mystical order, and more exciting for the many members and clergy joining the ranks of the church. This is an opportunity for us to share with others the true meaning of Christmas. It is a time for us to use the opportunities of this season to gather together and worship the newborn King. Whether you attend church regularly or not, let us make some effort to praise and glorify our God. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. Isaiah 9:2. These words were spoken long ago to people living in anxiety, fear, and despair. People feeling bereft of security, safety, and any sense of God's presence. We hear them early on Christmas, forgetting that they were forespoken hundreds of years before the birth we celebrate. Human beings across this planet still yearn to know that a more gracious and divine reality is active and evident in our lives. The birth we celebrate is meant for this world covered in darkness and fear, yet it also becomes easier to discover in a tiny voice crying in protest over being cold and wet and hungry. We hear that cry in the midst of wars, ravages in Syria and Afghanistan, in the rubble of Hurricane Sandy and earthquake that devastated Haiti a few years ago, in the demeaning of chronic poverty here in the US and the world at large, behind prison bars, the floods in Trinidad and Tobago and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the unwarranted and unprovoked attack on the school in Newtown, Connecticut, the economic and financial problems in the Caribbean. That flickering of hope surges as the world turns to investigate this surprising new life, one heart at a time. The light grows as hearts catch fire with the same light that illuminates the stars, pulsing hope, new life, even out of black, dark holes. It is true that we face many hardships and problems. These are poverty, social insecurity, the threat of terrorism, crime, HIV and AIDS, drug addiction, alcoholism, drug and human trafficking, modern-day slavery, domestic violence, the propagation of immorality, and other dreadful vices. Underlying all this is the distorted human soul, and it means that it is impossible to change the society for the better without faith, hope, and charity. The mystical children are aware of this situation and are prepared to stand with our ancestors that no human order can stand fast without the will of God. Those who search in dark and despair, in dark dungeons and deep devastation, will find divine light given for the world. Light that will not be put out so long as any creature remains to receive it. Until and beyond the end of time, the darkness will never put it out. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it, John 1:5. Yet the light shines in the mystical order when our patriarch was born. Our members, our stars shines brightest in this dark world. And so we are encouraged to let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Go and look and discover the love of God poured into our world in human form. Hope reigns abroad and in the cosmos and in human hearts. And rejoice, for a child of the light is born in our midst. And in the heart of the mystical order. I take this opportunity to wish all of you, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ, in the mystical order, a happy, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2013. God bless you richly.